Nobody's more dedicated than I am. I know what it's like to be on the committee. I was chair of membership a couple of years ago. I know what it's like to be a regional rep when back then it was Eastern Vice Chair. I accomplished more in those few months than the previous predecessors did in multiple years. There was effort made to affiliate counties. There was work done to bring people in. And what I offer to you is this: I will work with anybody who will work with me. I will, if you're willing to give me time, I can use you anywhere. What's been missing, I feel, is an actual advocate. When I look at the role executive vice chair, I see advocate for standing committees for regional reps. What I bring to you, I know what it's like to be both. I know how it's a thankless field. I know what it's like where it's just you and feeling like you're getting ready to be burnt out fully. I hope you give me a chance. I believe I am the best person for this job. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so what we'll do now is we'll go to a vote. Questions, I'm sorry, questions from the floor. If you have a question, want to come up to the microphone, we can ask the reps.
Hi, guys. So my big question, I guess, how do you see the role of vice chair specifically? What tasks, projects do you think you'll be taking on, since it's a generally pretty undefined role besides kind of just being second, but it's also, you know, a big leadership responsibility, and you know, it could come with a lot of additional responsibility, but it's a real chance to actually step up and lead some projects or lead some big things.
Why don't we switch it and we'll go with Jess first.
Thank you. One of the first things I look at is really bringing back volunteers. I think what we hope to get is voting members, but let's face it, everybody's afraid of commitment these days. So going out and reaching out to, let's say, for example, lapse members who used to be involved in the party but can't afford to pay $25, reaching out and giving them the volunteer questionnaire is seeing if we can match skill with committee. I think that accomplishes twofold. Number one, it gives committees the help that they need, but it also hopefully brings the lapsed members back into the fold, back into the party. Another thing, I look at it this way, like fundraising. Fundraising is a constant ask. It's a monthly ask. We're always going to need money. I think that's the same could be said for volunteers on committee. It's a constant ask. We need to be asking it every month. Instead, I feel as though we've been measuring the need. Oh, this committee needs it more. When in fact, everybody needs it. Everybody's getting burned out. And I think we need to have a better structure, better foundation to keep people in that's already there while bringing new, fresh blood into the fold.
Thank you. All right, Brian, go ahead.
Well, of course, one of the duties of the vice chair is to assist the chair. Greg is someone I have worked intimately with on several things. I'm very familiar with his layout and his vision for the party going forward this year, or for these next 2 years. And you know, taking some of that off his plate, really pushing forward some of those initiatives and being there to, you know, to really help him bring his vision forward would be one of the main goals. I also see the vice chair as sort of the liaison between the rest of the party and the executive board. Oftentimes the chair is a little inaccessible for the, you know, everyday volunteer, and the vice chair can really kind of step in to help fill that role. The culture and the community that we have here in the LPPA is one of the things that I'm really big on. You know, oftentimes this work can get tiring. The endless fights that we know we're going to lose before we ever start can be very deflating. And it's good to have that community around you and those people around you that remind you what you're fighting for and what you're working for, and to lean on when you're, you know, when you're having trouble, when you're getting burnt out, or you're just in a low spot and you need someone to pick you up. This community is what's really important. This movement is what's really important. And really pushing that forward is one of my goals. Team building and culture building exercises are something I want to keep promoting and keep finding new ways to incorporate into what we do, so that it's not always just the mundane business, but we're getting to know each other and love each other and hold each other up through all these fights. So I will always be here to, you know, to answer your questions, to bring your concern to the board, to kind of work between, the members and the executive board, and to really keep trying to foster that community and this family that I've grown to love and that has really picked me up and carried me through hard times. Getting through COVID was a difficult time, but when you had a community of people around you that were also standing up to the propaganda and were saying, I'm not going to inject my child with this, I'm still going to go out and live my life, really reminds you that you're not crazy sometimes and that, you're on the right track. And that's one of the things that's really important to me. So I really hope to be a helpful liaison to the rest of the party to help foster that community and that culture and to really help see Greg bring his vision forward over the next couple of years. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right, if we got no more questions, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to have each of the regional representatives pick a row. You guys are going to stay seated right where you're at. They're going to hand each of you a note card. You're going to write who you want on it. You're going to stay right where you are. They're going to come by, pick it up from you, and then, show your delegate ribbon, and they'll collect your card from you, and then they'll bring it to the secretary, and we'll get those tallied up. I'm going to have everybody stay seated right where they're at. The representatives will come around and collect from them.
Can we get the spelling?
Yeah. Hey, can we get the names on the? Can we get their names, the spelling of the names on them? No, we have Alpha. It's Jess Burton and Brian Goodnight. Yeah. Noda is an option as well. You can write Noda. Yes.
We voting the ballots at all?
It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I still got mine.
By the way, regional reps, and you guys do get a vote if you want one.
Does anyone have an extra ballot?
All right, we'll have the secretary tally those up. Are all the ballots in? Okay. While we get those tallied up, I would hear a motion to open nominations for treasurer.
So moved. Second.
All right. Do we have nominations for treasurer?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, yes. We had a nomination for Greg Perry. Greg, do you accept?
Seconded.
All right. All right, second. Yeah. Do we have any further nominations? All right. All right. Here, a motion to close nominations for treasurer.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Your choices are, Mr. Perry, would you like to make a statement?
Very brief statement. I'm running for treasurer on the principle of accountability. Accountability from me. I'll be looking for accountability from all the committees that I work with, although I will help them to achieve the goals that I have set for them. But it's all in order that we will be, that I'll be able to collect and present, prepare and present financial information that is useful, meaningful, so that every meeting of the Board of Directors, all the participants will have the knowledge that they need to accomplish their fiduciary responsibility. Thank you.
All right, time for the easiest vote all day. We'll go, remember, NODA is an option, so I'll call Greg. I will call for NODA, and let me know what your designation is. All in favor of Greg Perry? Aye. All in favor of NODA? Smart. That's very smart. All right. Thank you, Greg. Congratulations, and thank you, honest. Thank you. Thank you for all of your work. All right. Next, let's. While he's busy, but let's open nominations for secretary. All right. Do we have nominations? Oh, do we have a second? Do we have nominations for secretary?
Greg Deal, Executive Vice Chair. I nominate Alpha Shaw for Secretary.
Alpha, do you accept? Yes, I do. All right. Thank God. Yes.
Shouldn't we wait for the vice chair in case the loser of the vice chair wants to run for another office?
Yeah, that's a fine. Do either of you, would either of you take the secretary position? No, okay. How's that for you? All right. So, shall we continue? All right. All in favor of Alpha Shaw? Aye. NODA? All right. Congratulations, Alpha. You won. Yeah. Okay. Do we, under the new rules, do we have any other offices of the executive committee? Because the affiliate council and the affiliate at large are no longer. I think that's it. Correct. Okay. All right. Well then, while we wait for the tallies of the vice chair, shall we move on to nominations for political office? Sure. All right. I would open up nominations for political office. Second. Okay. Do we have any nominations? What are the offices? Oh yeah. What do we have? Governor? No. No. Senate. Well, I would hear. Who's got motions? Go. Yeah.
Treasurer and auditor.
Well, let's hear what he got. I need a motion. Yeah.
Motion to open nominations for U.S. Senate.
All right, a motion to open nominations for your Senate. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, let's hear nominations. Is he here? Can somebody go get Eric?
Seconded.
All right, well, while we look for Eric, do we want to go on to a different office?
Attorney General.
Oh, there he is. We got Eric. Thank God. All right. All right. We have a nomination for. Do we?
I think Allison Graham should be the one. I'll take it.
Do we have someone to make a nomination for U.S. Senate?
I'm on my way, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. No, we need the nomination. Allison, do you want? Eric, do you accept? All right.
Morgan Mogus, Butler County. I nominate John Thomas for U.S. Senate.
John Thomas, are you present? Do you accept?
I do.
All right. Any other nominations? Here, motion to close nominations. All right. Why don't we clear the stage, and we will. You can say. You can say. Yeah. You can say. No. You can say. You can say. Why don't we have the candidates up? While they're coming up, we have a result. Okay. Did we have notice? Did we have it?
We got 2 notice.
Okay.
And we got 1, technically, I guess it's illegal.
Okay.
It's illegible.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
okay.
not
We have a result on the executive chair, with 1 illegal ballot. Vice chair, executive vice chair, with 1 illegal ballot.
Because they like both.
2 votes for Noda, and a winner with 30 votes to 20 is Brian Goodnight. Thank you, Brian. All right. And then, to the candidates, we will give you 2 minutes each for an opening statement, and then we will open up to the floor for questions. So we would like to give the reigning incumbent the first. Yeah.
Hello. So I'm Eric Gerhart. I would appreciate your nomination yet again to go out and meet as many people and try to turn them to the side of liberty that I can. And I hope for all your support. I was reflecting earlier on the things that, like Larry Sharp said, you know, we all have the things that are important to us, and we all have to go out and do those things. This is important to me, and I'd like to continue doing that. So I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm John Thomas from Armstrong County, and I am, whenever we look at the Senate race for Pennsylvania this year, we have a Democrat who wants to send all of our treasure to Ukraine, and we have a Republican who wants to send all of our treasure to Israel. Those are not popular opinions in the state of Pennsylvania. We need to get that message out there. In Armstrong County, we got a message out there about defend the guard, and we had 3 of the Republican candidates for U.S. House reach out to the Armstrong County affiliate to tell us that they would back defend the guard because we're out getting the message out. We have a winning message. We can get it out, and that's what we need to do. We need somebody out there who's willing to and able to and dedicated to talking that liberty. We're on camera, so I can't quote Dave Smith completely. Talking that liberty stuff, and I want to be doing that for you.
All right. If we have questions for the candidates, come on up to the microphone. Yep.
Hello. So we have 4 statewide races this election year. So I was curious if both of you, or I guess my question is, are you willing, if you lose this nomination, to seek another one of our statewide nominations? Thank you.
Briefly, I would hear a motion to limit the answers to 1 minute apiece. So moved. Any objection? Okay, 1 minute each, guys.
I probably wouldn't. I'm expecting a child, so this was not something that I was expecting. But, you know, if I didn't get the nomination, I'd focus on my family.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to seek the governorship. I'm not an attorney, so I don't think I could be attorney general. And I don't have much of an accounting background, so treasurer I would not feel qualified to do either.
All right, Brandon, go ahead.
Do either of the candidates have any opinions on personal dress code policies, specifically hoodies on the Senate floor? And would you share those?
I think all hoodies should be the tuxedo variety hoodies that have been made popular.
To represent people, you're supposed to show a little bit of integrity and decorum. To show up for the job that you're elected to do, you should at least look presentable.
All right. Mike?
All right, so given the unfortunate political reality that Senate is almost certainly an unwinnable race, what is your guys' view of the role and the goal of such a race, and then what is your strategy to meet that role and goal?
The goal of any statewide or national-wide race for the Libertarian Party has to be about growing this movement, about getting our message out there, connecting with the people, letting the people know that they have a libertarian streak within them. And we need to water that and let it grow and watch it flourish. We're not going to win the Senate. I am under no disillusion that I think that I'm going to be in Washington next year, maybe for the convention, but not for being in the Senate. But we can spread our message, and we can build the next wave of Ron Paul type movement going throughout the state of Pennsylvania.
I totally agree with that. It's to inspire people. You want to go out there and show them that they can make a difference. It's not just you making a difference, but you making a difference, or anyone going out there and making a difference, is a light to someone. You might not see that light, but people that show up to these meetings, your party, your area, your counties, they see a little fire in you. They're gonna come and follow and start doing some things, and good things come of that. Like I said, there's everybody saying this is not a winnable race. They would throw it at me probably just as like, now you're in it and you're stuck. But who knows what's going to happen? But doesn't mean you don't try.
All right, thank you. Luke?
So despite the fact that we all acknowledge that it's an unwinnable race, obviously our messaging is very important based in the principles of liberty. And one of the big things that we talk about is the importance of foreign policy. And one of you mentioned how the major party candidates want to send money to Ukraine or Israel. Another one that's typically a hot topic is Taiwan. I suppose I'll just ask this much more broadly. Are there any foreign conflicts or alliances that you think the United States should be involved in?
Alliances for business, yes. Alliances for war and putting people under thumb, no. So, like leaving the UN is something that has been suggested. That should happen. That's seriously something that should happen. I mean, the whole World Economic Forum, where they're saying they want to tell us what to do. We are a sovereign country, or sovereign people. We need to defend that, and we need to stick to the guns about that. And sending money overseas that is not a loan, is not a business deal. It's just throwing money away. Why are we paying taxes if they're printing money and throwing it away? Why are the American people under thumb for something they didn't start? So those things got to end, the wars too.
Yeah, I agree. We don't need to be involved in any more wars, any more conflicts. We need to get out of a lot of the alliances that we are in, including NATO, UN. George Washington warned us about entangling alliances. The 20th century was a century of murder and mayhem because of entangling alliances. Getting out of these alliances is a step towards life and liberty.
All right, thank you. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, while the message is incredibly important, there are some, and we all acknowledge that there's not going to be a winner here of the actual race, but there is an important aspect of our party status that Eric's campaign last time maintained for us. So so it's not only about the message, but getting the message far enough out there and getting enough votes in these statewide races so that we maintain our status. So what are specific plans or strategies that you guys have to get out there in front of voters, how you are going to do that and deliver that message to deliver those votes?
I think there's a historical precedent for what a candidate who's running as a third party can get done without even winning. If we look back to the very first election that I was really aware of was the 1992 presidential election, where you had Ross Perot running, and Ross Perot got 30% of the vote. He didn't win, but he was running on one issue, and that was to balance the budget. And at that time, nobody thought balancing the budget was even in the realm of possibility. You had Ronald Reagan, who was supposed to be a conservative, who just grew the budget and exploded the budget. Ron Paul got 30% of the vote, and because of that, both the Republicans and Democrats were like, oh crap, we need these voters back. And to get that back, they passed a balanced budget. We can tell voters that, hey, you're not throwing your vote away by voting for libertarians. You are sending a powerful message that what is happening right now in Washington is unacceptable. And if the two parties want your vote back, they're going to have to give up the wars, they're going to have to give up the big spending, they're going to have to give up the big regulations, and they're going to have to get us back to liberty.
All right. To get the same numbers we got last time, I mean, it requires all of you, every single one of us. Primary day was what we attacked last time to get all our signatures, getting out in front of all the other voters because, libertarians aren't included in primaries. So we were already attacking other voters prior to the election. And we need to do that again. We need to go out on primary day. We need to get as many signatures for our presidential candidates, our Senate candidates, whoever it is, and meet the voters, meet the other voters, which are the Republicans and Democrats, and show them that there is the third option. And, they can make their own decisions on what they like. And truthfully, I know they don't like the Republican and Democrat parties because they aren't giving them what they need. They're only just taking away. And we offer them freedom. And that's where everybody's mindset's getting to. And I think eventually the populace will move in that direction.
All right, thank you. Caleb.
Good afternoon. We started this day off talking about morality, ethics, and human rights in regards to the current topic that sweeps the nation in regards to abortion and IVF. Where do you stand on the issue?
Going softball, huh?
I would allow, I think the federal government should allow states to be involved in solving state issues. If there are immigrants flooding into a state, then the federal government should not be standing in their way if they're trying to do things to deter that. But I'm not for any increase in government spending at all. So hiring more border agents, just spending more money is not the answer. Abortion, I think that was the other hot button issue that you brought up, right? Was it? Okay. I am a pro-life person. I have my pro-life caucus pen on right now. Thanks, Sam Rob. But I don't necessarily think that the government is the answer to that. I think that there are other answers. As a matter of fact, before Roe versus Wade was decided, the vast majority of people would never even consider getting an abortion. But because the government stepped in and said this is an acceptable practice, this is a practice that we approve of, now those numbers have shifted. Whenever the government decides morality, it creates an immoral system. So it's a very important issue to me, and I think that we need to find non-government solutions for it.
I do believe that the border should be a border. it should be something that is protected. You want to say to want to have it open to everyone for free of travel, that's how we have it through America. But you know, now you're having other people infringe upon other people's rights, of which it's their property. And you can't have private property rules if you're just allowing people to willy-nilly thing. I mean, we own nothing. We own nothing. We work for half of what we make, and we get to sit with that. I don't agree with an American slave colony. I would like everyone to be free to do what they want, but you know, as long as you don't hurt nobody. And it's the same thing with abortion. I mean, you're now hurting somebody, and while it shouldn't happen, there's many cases where it should be an option for someone to make themselves. Making the government say that that's okay for you, that's not okay. States, same thing. It should always be a personal decision.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, by the schedule for the convention, I believe we're supposed to be on break. Can I motion to extend until we finish this?
I'd ask unanimous consent to extend for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I would say extend up to 10 minutes to finish at the very least, you know, the voting, if not the tally.
Any objection? All right, hearing none, we'll continue.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to just clarify. Can I ask a question of one candidate, or does it have to be a question?
No, you can
of
ask a question of one. Yeah.
Fantastic. Mr. Thomas, I was talking to some of your fellow members from Armstrong, and it's my understanding that you decided this morning, I believe, to accept this nomination or seek this nomination. Is that true?
That is actually untrue. It was this afternoon.
This afternoon. Thank you. So I want to be clear. These answers we've been hearing from you are not ones that you've studied for, prepared for, or you have been speaking off the cuff answering these questions. Is that correct?
Well, I've kind of been preparing my whole life because I have I've been speaking this liberty talk for a while.
Thank you, sir. That is just what I wanted to verify.
All right, thank you. Thank you, both candidates. All right, any further questions to the candidates? We got one more? Okay.
All right, my question's, it's kind of like a two-part that you both have to answer a separate question, but as far as John, Eric has a ton of investment in running. He still has a lot of stuff from the previous year he ran. You know, how are you gonna kind of keep up with that? Like, can you even get the resources and stuff like that Eric already has? And to Eric, are you sure you could do the same thing if you just kind of announced to us that you have some personal things going on? Can you put the same effort in? So that's my question.
I was around when Eric was campaigning. He did a heck of a job last time. I'd actually give him a round of applause. Whenever he came to my small town of Katanning last year, he was out meeting everybody he could. I learned a lot. I've never run a campaign, and I learned from him, and I appreciate that. I might have talked a lot of liberty stuff, but I learned stuff from Eric. And I think that, yeah, we would have to build some things up. And no, I cannot do that, not alone. But with all these people in this room and those people you have in contact back home, we can build up the capacity to run a meaningful campaign for Senate.
My family is going to be a priority of mine, and I've already marked the month of June when she's due. Just, you know, it's up in the air. That month alone, I will not be putting my time in because I'm going to be there for my lady, and whatever time I can give, where I can go. If you guys all invite me to the events near you, we will do the same thing. We'll network. I'll show up for your events. We'll meet as many people in your counties as we can, and we'll do the same thing. As much as I can, I will give you.
Thank you.
A quick question. I already know the answer from Eric, but Mr. Thomas, are you or have you ever been a Toastmaster? They expect it from me, you know?
I have never been a Toastmaster. Maybe you could tell me more about Toastmasters during break.
Breakfast tomorrow morning, sir. We're doing a demonstration meeting.
All right. Any other questions for the candidates? All right. We ready for a vote? Yes. All right. We're going to do the same way that we did the candidates for vice chair. So the regional representatives, if you will, please take your